Hello, folks, and welcome live from the Stadium Ice Arena in Skokie, Illinois, in the North Shore, as the New Trier Trevians and Maine Hockey Club meet for each their second game of a marathon weekend and of the day alone. Both teams coming into this one in the pool 1-0, and only one team will come out unbeaten to finish the Friday night. Hello, everybody, and welcome into the broadcast. It's a solo mission call from yours truly, Luke Jordan. Always a pleasure to be with you and to be with New Trier, a team that is looking to make their way back to the O'Grady Cup Championship. A heart-wrenching 5 overtime loss in the tournament last year after making it all the way there. Eventually they would go on to win the big one in the state championship, but you know New Trier not satisfied with any silver medal as they'll try to fight their way back in and win this time around. And they take on Maine Hockey Club, who squeaked out a win against Brother Rice, who's one of the more impressive teams outside the SHL coming into this tournament. So really a statement win for Greg Mrofska and his Maine Hockey Club. Meanwhile, New Trier just pulled right by Notre Dame. Those two teams met early on in the season. New Trier took care of them in an exhibition, and boy, did they smack them today. A 4-0 first period was all they needed. Eventually, a 7-0 final score. Jenner Layden had 2 goals, and everybody else, Naggetts, Fontana, Puglia, Solomon, and Knight, all with 1. And for Maine, against Brother Rice, 2 goals from Ryan Pape in an action-packed first period was all they needed. They also scored first, and they scored 4 in the first period. They actually had James Esposito strike on the other side to open up the scoring, but exited the first 17 minutes with a 4-1 lead. Sean Chansett, Ryan Pape, Amato Cabrera, and Ryan Pape yet again. So Pape with the 2-goal performance, wearing number 90 for Maine. Definitely somebody you'll want to watch out for, as Maine Hockey Club eventually able to hang on, which leaves these two teams the only unbeatens left here in Pool B. Notre Dame and Brother Rice will be playing at the same time. They, of course, are not out of the tournament, but they're going to need to win their way out. Let's take a look at tonight's starting goaltenders. On the right end for Maine, they're going to go with Gavin McGrath. This is the same returning goalie crew from the state semifinal team in the combined division last year. You get a look at McGrath there on your screen, just a sophomore ready to take the crease. Impressive freshman year. And on the other end, it is Max Reed on the left side of your screen. The former AAA goalie has really jumped up his stats since the beginning, really getting familiar here with this level. And New Trier Green is unable to win the opening draw. Both teams 1-0, and let's see who can come out 2-0 here in Pool B to get us going on the opening day of the O'Grady Cup, the day after Thanksgiving. Jack Woolabin Jr. will flip it in deep. Gavin Krischke for Maine. New Trier tries to win the puck battle down low, but they cannot. Chansett will slide it across. Here comes Matheson Cootie, the captain, with a clapper that's well wide of the net. Takes a weird bounce off the glass holder. And now the other way, it's Dane Lohmeyer. Lohmeyer right side of the ice. New Trier in their white uniforms with green elsewhere, green socks, green pants, green helmets, and a slide in front and a bouncing puck on top of the net for our first true whistle. A look here from our famous Gerard Boris goalie cams, our great producer, and a very bizarre opening look. You see the net comes just a little bit off of its moorings, but would have gone over the crossbar as is. It will be the first offensive zone draw for the Trevians. SHL's best offense, 68 total goals lead. The top conference in Illinois high school hockey. And you know they want to get out early and find more, just like they did against Notre Dame this morning. Both fuel tanks running low on both sides. It's all about endurance in these second games. Lividitis centering feed off the skate of the goaltender McGrath. As we mentioned, same goalie crew in the state semis. Joseph Murphy is the other one. They're pretty evenly matched. Here's Solomon on a drive, slides it towards the net. No problems from the left pad of McGrath. Kai Uyang is unable to hold. Maine the other way. It's Britch, nothing much. Solomon now opens up in his own end. Isaac Solomon whips one across ice to Tommy Lividitis, who can't hang on. Up to the red line. There's Chase Marino. Just a junior, swings it wide of the net. Soren Selak comes down and plays it to the goal line where it finds Ryan Pape. Pape with 2 goals in that game against Brother Rice this morning. And what people would have imagined New Trier and Brother Rice were the ones to open up with a win has changed. And Marino now crashes towards the crease, can't pull the trigger. Marino again swings it for Roween, just can't get his stick on it. And there's Alex Roween, not to be confused with Keegan Roween. Alex wearing number 9, Keegan 87. DeLuca can't hold for Maine. There'll be a chance in transition. George Knight down the right side of the ice. Hill unwind one, got deflected wide off a defensive stick of Burke. Roween works it to the point. Selak near side. Hill release that hits the ceiling and also the netting behind for a whistle. 14:30 to go in the first period. We'll be keeping an eye on some other games here as well. Fenwick and Providence are facing off. Providence's JV team was just out here against OPRF, having won that game. Fenwick's got the 1-0 lead, and they're 1-0 to start, as Fenwick beat Evanston, which is a huge win for the Friars. And all they'll have left on their path tomorrow would be Loyola, the hosts. Don't be shocked if Fenwick maybe tries to claim a spot in the semifinals. Bouncing puck all over, and it's poked out of there by Cooney. Matheson Cooney wears a check from Wilson. Worked around the wall. Cooney tried to put it to the top of the circle. Instead, Burke has to backtrack. No icing from the far side linesman. 3-man officiating crew. You got your near side linesman as Poulius is unable to pull the trigger. Far side linesman, and then official with the orange band. Cooney just off sides as he runs over JP Wilson. Looks like it was Sean Chanzed. That was a hair off. And that will allow changes on both sides here in the neutral zone. Looks to be a new look for Jack Herstrit, who steps into the face-off dot. He's got the bubble going. Don't recall that being a thing last time I did a New Trier game, unless I'm seeing things. Bergquist with a point fire that's kicked away by Reed. They'll recover inside the red and blue and flip back in. Kai Uyang is back. Partnered up with Nolan Nagget's defensive partner since they were 7 years old, and they connect here on a cross-ice pass. Nagget's forced back. Now the pressure coming from Matthew DeLuca. It does find Keegan Roween on the near blue line. Cabrera with a good hit on Lohmeyer as it comes back into the center ice circle. Pinballing to the stick of Herstrit. Slid towards, and that nearly is it's on the goal line. What a bizarre turn of events, completely catching everybody in here, including my English, off guard. Now Nicholas Cannon moves the other way, shoved into Max Reed for a whistle. Oh my, that was something. Get a look at the offensive chance. This is just a harmless shot coming from the neutral zone. You're gonna see it right here. Sticked away, comes back around, and it is right there. What a great effort by Bergquist to get it out of there for Maine Hockey Club. Now they got an ozone draw. If we get a chance, we'll look at Cannon's opportunity the other way, as eventually he crashed into Max Reed for this faceoff. Round the wall to Isaac Solomon. Solomon fans on it, and here's Pape. With already 2 goals in this tournament, trying to slide it toward. Solomon cuts off the centering feed. Pape looks to go back up for Britch. Selak, hounded. Looks to go vertical for Lividitis, where it's sent right back down by Gavin Britch. Britch is very impressive and has been for Maine this season, a team leading 18 points out in the Illinois West Conference, where they are currently 3rd. Britch takes a body check, still able to hang on to the puck for just a moment. Chase Marino pushes the other way. Marino tries a nifty move, and it's sent back out to center. Roween covering his spot, leaves it for Soren Selak. Selak weaves inside, now through the center ice circle. Selak, good pressure from Cooney, pops right out to Solomon with a chance, centers, and it's just behind the intended target, Keegan Roween. A bit of a stop at the blue line there for William Gavin, who just chips in. Past 5 minutes in, still no score. Lividitis up for Knight. That could change. It's a 2-on-1. George Knight with the denial from McGrath. Good look, but he put it just under the blocker. McGrath didn't have to move too much to punch it away. Gavin McGrath, just a 2010. He's been impressive. Jack Andrus to the side. Alex Roween, sharp angle, couldn't slip it through. Cooney turns the other direction, banks it off the glass, and back out to center. George Knight recuperates. Wilson taps it inside. Chipped ahead. Alex Roween takes in, centering feed pinballs into the far corner. Knight now. Held at the point. Andrew swipes it back down. Knight with space, top of the circle, denied there by McGrath. Knight again. Down to the goal line as it tried to be shoveled on by Roween. Alex Roween now puts it off the side of the net, regains, gets it on this time, bouncing around in front and cleared out of there by Sean Chanzad. Maine will change all 5, leaving some space here, and Max Reed immediately recognizes it, finds Roween near side. Alex Roween with space, walks into the slot, couldn't kick it across to Layden. Layden with 2 goals in the earlier game. Rich stopped at the blue line. The alternate captain is eventually pressured by Alex Roween, who gets it out to center ice. Good back and forth so far, as now it's chipped in by Tyler Seawert for Maine. Seawert's known to get the scoring started for Maine. 3 first goals on the season in West play. That leads his team. Bit of an advanced stat nerd myself. That puck flies right over Adam Cheris for a whistle. 10-11 to go here. Wondering where the music went, if it's ever been here at the stadium. Don't like how quiet it is. I feel like everybody can hear me. You think so, Gerard? No, maybe. I feel like I'm talking soft right now. I'm fine for now. Don't mean to be interrupting anybody's viewing experience. Fresh puck is tossed over. And now they'll line up for a center ice faceoff. Don't be fooled, nobody has scored. Shots on goal, as you see there, 8-3 for New Trier so far. Pounding shots on McGrath, he stopped in all 8. Good pickpocketing play as it's sent over the line by Charlie Cannon. Nagitz goes across for Uyang. Intercepted at center and fired right back in by Gavin Krischke. Maine Hockey Club, comprised of Maine East, Maine West, and Maine South. 3 different high schools. Fontana in a 2-on-1, couldn't chip it across. What a great effort there by Krischke. Worked up to the blue line. Nagitz unwinds, and that's a softer one than usual. Steered aside by the sophomore netminder. Played inside, intercepted by Bergquist. Ethan Bergquist to the far side. Hard hit by Nolan Nagitz. That sets the tone. Seawert, a little bit slow to the bench. Appears to be all right after taking a hard hit from a physical Nolan Nagitz in his senior year. Nice move there. It's advanced up the far side. Cannon spun around on a check. Uyang gave it away. Cannon out in front, fires it wide. Oh my, he's gonna want that one back. To the top of the circle on the far side, plays called dead. And we were this close to having Maine in front. You see here, Uyang just trying to give it aside. It's just out of reach for Fontana. And my goodness, Cannon has that right side from your vantage point there open. Just cannot squeak it inside the post. With just under 9 minutes to go, Maine wins the ozone draw. Bouncing around, Nick Cannon sticks it back down. Selak's pass escapes the defensive zone, and the hand shoots up for icing. We've got fireworks going on in one of the other games right now. Fenwick's now got a 2-1 lead in the first period over Providence Catholic. Notre Dame and Brother Rice, the 2 other teams in this pool, are still no score. Another ozone draw coming for Maine. Matthew DeLuca is hounded off the draw by Jack Herstrom. Wolobin goes across ice, Dane Lohmeyer. First line making moves here. Herstrom on the backhand, put it off the pipe. Forked right back in front. Selak looks to stick it down. Herstrom into the slot. Lohmeyer, my goodness, what puck movement. but nothing goes. You see that type of puck movement even here between the blue lines. Lohmeyer takes in that pass, stops, creates space, and it is Herstrit just off the post. This first line has been doing wonders for New Trier, and how about Jack Herstrit, the center? 9 goals, 13 assists, 22 points in SHL play, all team leading. Very much like his older brother Connor, who now attends the University of Virginia, who led in points last year as a captain. Jack doing just about all the same. He's got the C on the right side of his white uniform, as he does every game. Left side of the ice here is Herstrit trying to drag and fire. Woolabin goes inside for Lohmeyer. It's up for grabs. Woolabin regains. Herstrit now top of the circle. Goes across for Marino. Swung back for the captain Herstrit on linesman wide. Salek, a hard effort, tries to chop it back in, which he does, but Maine immediately collects and gets it out of there. It's Britch across the blue line. Britch now tries to bat it towards the cage. High up in the air and into the netting for whistle. Got Dylan Ward commenting here. Dylan David checking in from the car ride up to West Bend. Have a good call, Luke. Well, yeah, I hope I do. Thank you, Dylan. You boys have a good broadcast up in the electric West Bend. Always a great atmosphere they got there in the NA3HL. I want to say West Bend, not too far from Milwaukee, if I remember looking it up on Google Maps correctly. Cooney goes down. No need for a call. Dylan and David are still listening. Appreciate your kind words about me earlier. Here's Johnset in a 2-on-1. Curls it back for Lyons. Sean Lyons pulls it to his forehand, and it's poked out of there by Max Reed. Up to the point, held in, and sent off the netting for whistle. 6:47 to go. Don't forget, if you want to see your comment put up on the board like this, make sure you comment. I love to always check the comment section every 4 or 5 minutes, try to get back to any questions you have. If you say something I can't put up there, I'm probably going to see it, but I'm not going to put it up. Let's keep it PG like we always do. You guys are pretty good about that. And into the ceiling again. Goals around now. Notre Dame Brother Rice tied at 1. Fenwick still leads Providence Catholic 2-1. So 2 or more goals in every other game that start at the same time. Over here we are still scoreless. If anything, you don't mind that if you're Greg Moravsko coming into this game. Maine Hockey Club, the clear underdogs. But they are not a team to be messed with. I've seen their incredible results out in the West League. They're currently 3rd, but a record of 11-3. Very much mirroring New Trier's record, just a couple off. New Trier's 11-3-2 out in the SHL. It was a bumpy start for the Trevs nonetheless. They started 2-2. I've only lost 1 in regulation since then. I think it goes to showing how much these goaltender statistics have improved. I mean, look at Max Reed. He had an .857 at one point for New Trier. You see him on the left side of your screen. He's up to a .903, as well as a 1.98 goals allowed average. Chipped off the boards and out of there by New Trier. Alex Roeen retreats into the corner. Tight pass for Knight. Taken away by Matthew DeLuca. DeLuca goes to the side. Takes the return pass. Matthew DeLuca poked away. Jenner Layden advances the other direction. Layden with speed. He's looking for his 3rd of the tournament already. 3rd of the day at that, but nothing comes out of it. This one will roll its way down for icing. That puck is flat. It's never even getting close, but decided to grow a pair of legs and run past the goal line with 5:22 to go. Still awfully quiet here in the stadium. Not a bad attendance at all. I think it's more the tension of New Trier really trying to get that first goal and jump out in front in a game they know they can win. And Maine on the other end, glimmering with silent hope, as they're playing a very good game against the defending 3-time state champions right now. There's no doubt about it. Fontana chips in. Kershke. Now it's Poulias out in front. Nearly trouble. Rich will turn back. Pape sticks it aside. Seawork goes chasing after Nuggets, as they'll round their way below the goal line. Poulias gave it right back. There'll be a chance the other way. Rich, a backhand pass that is well behind Ryan Pape. Fontana sticks it down. And now it's Ethan Bergquist, first back for Maine. Gavin Rich into the slot, pulls a shot off the blocker of Max Reed. Pape cycles it back down. It's out of the reach for Cooney. Cannon scraps it out of there. Alternate captain Sean Lyons taking away Dane Lohmeyer. Into the slot. Wool have been on his backhand. Try to create some space and swing it down the boards for Jack Herstrick. Herstrick gave it away. Cooney can't clear. It's Herstrick now. Over for Wilson, and McGrath makes the save. Woolabin recovers, trying to go to the high slot where Andrus was cutting in. Instead, now the other way. Look at the speed from Chanzet. Chanzet pumps the brakes, creates snow, chips it back for Lyons, back for Chanzet. Tight angle off this side of the net. Got a couple of Maine fans excited over here for just a moment. Wilson goes vertical. Now Jack Woolabin. Settled down by Andrus. Amato Cabrera, who scored this morning, is the one who chipped it in. Lohmeyer throws it off the back leg of Cabrera. Now it's Cannon across for DeLuca. Left-handed shot is sticked away by Chase Marino. Pumped back up the wall. Cabrera can't hang on. And Gavin cannot hold at the point. With speed, a 2-on-1. Herstrick's basically got a breakaway, and he fires wide. Bit of a late hit there. We'll keep playing. 3-on-2 the other way now. Maine's got it in their hands. Gavin slides it across. Matthew DeLuca from a distance. Hit a body on the way there. Marino now. We just keep going north and south. Marino in a 2-on-1. He's got Lividitis crashing. Marino can't curl it towards. It's Tommy Lividitis back down the boards. Weird bounce off the corner boards. That's where the door opens. Usually where you get your worst bounces. And it shows there. Marino back into the O-zone. Solomon recovers, slides it towards, kicked away. Lividitis can't bank it off. He'll recover and puts it right through the blue paint. Cleared out of there by Cabrera, but Maine, who was much in need of a change, we'll get that order from Greg Morovska. Meanwhile, Cheris will keep the Solomon, Lividitis, Keegan Roween line out there. Keegan Roween, who centers, will step in to take the draw and win it. Salak goes down the boards. Solomon in front. Can't find Roween. Marino has to backtrack because here comes Maine. It's past Britch, who now battles in the corner. Gavin Britch wins it for Maine. Bergquist at the point, unleashes, deflected on and saved by Reed. A very slight deflection, still ended up off the goalie gear of Reed, the junior netminder. Linesman was struck by a puck there, and it's given away by Seward. Isaac Solomon getting fancy. Will have to recover. Roween takes the outside track on Krischke. nailed into the wall by Gavin Krischke. Nagitz recovers it at the top of the circle, slides it for Solomon right into the glove of Gavin McGrath. Just under a minute to play here in the first. Not a bad look at all. You'll watch Solomon open up knowing he's getting the puck here, but McGrath is able to see that one all the way through, making his 11th save of the game. Layden, save there by McGrath. Alex Rowan is in to help down low. Layden got his left palm up saying, I was pinned against the wall for way too long. No holding will be called. And now a chance for Nagitz, crashing into the slot. A backhander blocked. Recovered by Layden, but the puck escapes from him out of the zone. He's got to wait for the delayed offsides and plays it back now. Rowan over the line offsides. Knight couldn't scurry his way, or should I say his left skate back over the blue. He was already just basically there. 17.8. Go here in the first. Face-off is won by New Trier. Layden puts it across for Nagitz into the zone, rifling one wide, or wide, should I say, pardon me. Layden at the hash marks, creates some space. And it pinballs around, eventually finds Matheson Cooney. A blast at the buzzer is absorbed by Kai Uyang. And that does it on the first period. We've got no score here between a New Trier team that is hard to upset and a Maine hockey club that never lets it rest. A pretty even first period. Yes, the shots far apart, but got to take in some Maine shot attempts that just straight up miss the crease. Would love to hear your opinions down in the chat. Bears won 24-15. They're 9-3. I can't believe that's real. Great day for me today. Hawkeyes win in football, Bears win. Same rules in the O'Grady Cup here as usual. 17-minute periods. You get this little break in between, almost like a media timeout. And then, of course, between the second and third, you get the ice cup. Loyola taking on Evanston right now. Another game added on. None of the other results have changed up to this point, but the Ramblers, New Trier's best friend and the host of this 54th annual O'Grady Cup tournament. They lead Evanston 1-0. Some earlier results from today. Glenbrook South beats Bennett 4-0. York hands it to Chicago North, a 7-2 win for the Dukes. 5-goal second period. How about New Trier Blue almost pulling one out against GBN? As we line back up here to start the second period. Still no score in Skokie. We'll see. It's subject to change here at the stadium. Krischke from the point. That gets partially blocked by Herstrit. Centered back in front and nearly was troubled. Good hold at the point. Bergquist. Rich uses his body to absorb that puck. Centering. Seaward settles down and puts it wide. Pape. Far point. Bergquist has it blocked. He's able to hold. Marino captures it. Slaps it across for Woolabin. Up center, now to reach for Lohmeyer. Rich in deep. Maine will make a change, 53 seconds in. New Trier unable to get their guys off yet. That will change here. Lohmeyer comes off. Now Woolabin into the slot, lets one go, and McGrath makes another save. Jack Herstrick off the wall. Now Marino. Point to point, Wilson with a routine save there from McGrath. Chansad will curl it back, and it's Cooney up high, gloved down by Reed. We had an edit to the shots on goal. With that shot, they're now 8-6, I would believe. I don't know how often they're updating the shots, but that's what our guy Gerard is following, because that seems to be the honest way. But to be honest with you, I felt like I feel like your count was better. Yeah, you had 12 New Trier shots. They have it at 8. Provenzano throws it down the wall. Oh, 7. They still got it at 7? What in the world? I don't know about all that. Doesn't really matter. It affects some statistics, but of course you could care less if you get one shot on goal if you can just come away with a win out of this one. Cooney. Out to New Trier's own line. Andrus gave it away, and here comes Sean Lyons on a backhand try, and a big save from Max Reed. Lyons will fork it into the high slot. Chance that hits Cabrera, who crashed with his own team. Lyons, the senior returner, fires in. Captain of the Northwest Express before coming to Maine. Both teams playing out of the Oakton Ice Arena, which I know did go through some renovations as of recent. I actually work out at West Meadows Ice Arena. I remember Express would come and skate there a lot. A lot of the figure skaters that skate at Oakton would come skate there, so I have not seen what Oakton currently looks like, the newly renovated. But I have called games there in my past, and they actually stuck us on a ledge behind the net one time. It was one of the more interesting vantage points I've ever done a game. It's basically like looking at the ice like that. You see it on your screen. That's just about the best broadcast point you can get at Oakton, because the bleachers are very low, and the game I was doing, I don't know, back in 2022, 2023, was packed to the brim. It was Maine and Warriors in the Illinois West Cup. Game 3, I want to say. I was back in high school myself. Now sophomore in college. Nagitz holds the blue line. He works by Britch. Down the goal line, Alex Roeen has it swiped away. Seward gets it out of there. Past 3 minutes into the second period now, and still no score. Pate drops it behind for Britch. He'll go across, could be numbers. Seward sliding towards, bouncing all over. Nagitz takes down a Maine player in the crease, which left Maine wanting a call that they will not get. Roeen now pumps the brakes, looks backdoor, bouncing all over on the other end, and nearly slipped through the 5-hole by Kai Uyang, crashing into the crease. Good action on both ends, but both goaltenders remain stellar. Get a look at this one. You see there that last effort by Uyang. If McGrath wasn't able to close his pads fast, that could have very much caromed off the inside of his leg and into the back of the net if it had some mustard on it. Cooney puts it off the glass right at the face of Max Ascione, who was not phased whatsoever. Other netminder for New Trier. He's got 3 appearances in SHL play. Good takeaway by Chase Marino. Marino into the slot, one-timer, Fontana on the goal line, and now still loose and blown dead. New Trier doesn't like that one bit. This is why we all collectively love goalie cams. Another goal line, get at it. I mean, McGrath is turned towards the net after a ton of chaos, and a look at him there. Marino retreats out to center. Chase Marino. Backdoor for Cannon, reflected towards the glass. Soren Selak now walks the blue line. He'll unleash one, denied by McGrath. Quick face-off win to Marino. Goes across for Selak. Now Woolabin right into the glove. Plenty of whistles here in the second period. Some more results from today. St. Ignatius dog walks OPRF 7-1 there. Fenwick with their first win earlier today against Evanston, 3-2. We talked about that a little bit and how that is a game changer for the Friars. With the state they're in right now, if they can beat their CCHL fellow foe in Providence Catholic, they've got Loyola tomorrow for the pool, which is a crazy thought. That could bring the Friars into the Final Four on Sunday. Down the wall, collecting it below the goal line is Jack Woolabin, the junior. Backhands it to the point, Marino. Back for Woolabin. And passed as Krischke recovers. Seward with a good redirecting pass, now sent straight up ice. Rich defended by Selak and well done. And now Pape's left wide open in front. What a save by Max Reed. The toughest test he's faced yet by a mile. And he stands tall on a huge defensive miscue that now turns into a 3-on-1 the other way. Herstrid sharp angle off the side and out. Now what in the world happened here? Maine was almost out with the opening goal. Here's the opening look, and that incredible defensive effort by Selak just completely nudges him off. But then there was not a defender back, which left Herstrid in charge of the net and almost broke Ryan Pape free. Nagitz is able to hold the zone. Cooney goes across, poked away, and now curling the other direction is Roween. Keegan Roween, right side of the ice, curls it in front. Up top, Ouyang. Solomon back for Ouyang, opens up, fires and scores! A long-awaited icebreaker, and it comes from the blue liner, Kai Ouyang. 1-0 New Trier. $11:16 to go here is how long it took into the second period for New Trier to find the opening goal. You're gonna get such a perfect look at it from this angle, just right over the shoulder of McGrath, who has been incredible so far. And finally, one slithers past. Up here on our scoreboard, that is shot number 16. That finally beats the sophomore netminder. Ouyang, his first goal here in the O'Grady Cup tournament, and a big one at that. New Trier now outscoring their opponents 8-0 up to this point in their fifth period of the day. Here's George Knight. Looks for Layden, bouncing all over, and New Trier off that first goal, waiting for things to explode. They thought that could have been another one added on, but McGrath makes the save. Or I guess covers. Technically not a shot on goal, if you look at the rule book, but I think. Take it from the former hockey player, right, Gerard? Except sometimes we have no idea what we're talking about. That's why I appreciate refs so much. I mean, they actually know everything. They don't do everything right, but they know a lot more than the average hockey player, because they actually read. Out past the blue line. Wilson lays a check down in the corner. George Knight a little bit stumped. We'll get some assistance. Flipped out past the red line. Layden can't get a hold of it. Cabrera fires back in. Kicked ahead, taken right back. Maine out the chance in front. It's Cannon settling, firing, blocked. Follow up wide of the net. Alex Rowan recuperating for the Trebs. His pass is past Andrus. Layden has to shoulder it down the ice to settle it. And Rowan just smacks it out of there. Maine with good possession here, as they'll go in a forecheck now. Here comes J.P. Wilson. Wilson on the right side, cutting towards the crease. Nothing comes out of that opportunity. Knight's unable to hold. It's a clear offsides. No complaints from the New Trier bench. I had a great look at it. That'll tell you all you need to know. Take this draw out in front of the Trevian bench. Selak partially blows a tire, and here comes Chansett. He goes down. They're going to say it was more him losing his balance. Still no call on either side up to this point. Refs really haven't had to use the whistle. It's been a very clean game on both sides. Two disciplined teams going at it. Chansett taken away. Here comes Dominic Fontana down the left side of the ice. Fontana breaks free, centers towards. It's jabbed at by New Trier, and we are very close to our first penalty of the game there, but Maine eventually backs off and lets Charlie Cannon go free. McGrath taking his helmet off, adjusting his hair, putting it back on. Here's the chaos out in front. Cannon's kind of shoved right on the front of McGrath, which leaves the young netminder with a needed moment to reset. What a season for Maine last year. Champions of the West Cup. Eventually would make their way to the Final Four in the combined division. They were down 3-0 to BGHW. As here's Cannon, unable to get a shot on. They called a timeout, switched netminders. They went from Murphy to McGrath. And the only goal McGrath let in after he came in the second is a delayed penalty here on Maine. Definitely a borderline call. Could have potentially let that one go, but I won't voice much more of an opinion, as it will create a Maine power play, pardon me. I thought for sure that was on New Trier for a second, because they blew the whistle when New Trier had possession, if I'm seeing everything right, but it'll be Cannon, the versatile athlete who also plays football, who has to watch from the penalty box for 2 minutes instead of take a flag. Here's Cooney. What a pass out in front for Chansett, and it's wide. But that had been pretty from the Maine power play. Their power play is very good out in the West. Nearly 40% actually, 39.3. And that's the second best somehow. Not the best out of 13 teams. Chansett collects. He just basically gives it away. Now Knight goes across ice. Jenner Layden looking for a shorthanded goal. Layden, with his everlasting speed, stuffs it and runs right over McGrath. McGrath is not getting it. And a look at it here. Layton knows that's the opportunity cost there. Thankfully, Gavin McGrath is all right. It's one of those tough plays to call as an official, because it does happen a lot where those plays happen and they don't make a call, but it almost kind of feels like you could. I mean, Layton, not much of a chance to stop himself in his defense, but you could have imagined you could have slowed down maybe a little more, but granted, I'm not the player in that scenario, so it's very hard to judge, but it'll end up a no call. It will send New Trier out of the offensive zone. Layton's all right. He'll be taking left wing here on the draw. And McGrath gets a grip of his stick. He's ready to go. Look at the pad setup he's got. He's got white and red all around with a white base, red decaled Bauer goalie stick as well. Halfway through the first power play chance for either side, and Maine is coughing it up in their own end. Caillou Yang, who's already got a goal, is fighting a 1-on-5, and McGrath gets a nice rhythm save to get himself back in after the collision previously. New Trier's penalty kill in the SHL is 86.4%. A very tough PK unit to play against. And really, as a former player, even when I played against gray, white, or blue, they always had some sort of system. Oh, that's a penalty and a half. Layton's got to be careful there. Maine's going to be able to pull their goalie here. It's going to be 6-on-4. Britch walks in. Glove save from Reed. And there's the penalty. So as one's about to finalize, they're going to add another to the box. So it's going to be 5-on-3 off the faceoff. And then the Maine blue liners will have to be well aware of Charlie Cannon. That will likely shoot straight out. Or maybe, depending on where the puck is located, come to the New Trier bench. This draw is going to be very important, and you want to get a hold of it if you're the Trevians.
Correction. 2 minutes holding, 6:38.
They call holding on Layton. Second chance now for Maine, who is likely 0 for 1 on this first one, but a couple of good chances. And Cooney now retreats into the corner. Centering feed, intercepted. Out of the box, here comes Roween, fresh off the bench. Roween scores! Exactly what you wanted off the face-off for a New Trier. Cannon shoots to the bench. Roween comes on and makes impact. A short-handed goal. That's what you had to be aware of for Maine. I tried to warn them over the broadcast. No matter where that puck is, somebody's got to back out when that clock hits 0 on Cannon coming out, and nobody does it. A costly mistake. And Keegan Roween, who we've seen score shorthanded goals before, finds a big one.
Unassisted, 6:25, shorthanded goal.
Matthew DeLuca looking for an answer. Now it's Nick Cannon. Leaves it aside. Pape gets checked into the wall. And here comes New Trier again. 2-on-1. Roween and Wilson. Roween for Wilson, and he fans him. Would have been a really tight window. And very uncomfortably open up there. Just couldn't get his stick on it. Krischke looks up at the clock, still 1:07 on Maine's second power play. Pape to the side, now Britch collects near. They'll put it through the legs of Knight, but Shannon, who's all tied up. Selak gave it away. Cooney into the slot, and that one is absorbed by Reed. Look one more time at that Keegan Roween goal. Scored a big shorthanded goal against St. Viator over a month ago, and he just goes posting in. That's perfect placement. McGrath is positioned pretty well. Violation on the face-off by New Trier. Got Glenbrook South taking on Chicago North up next. I'm sure many of you are familiar with Dylan Ward. He's up on his way just above Milwaukee to West Bend. So I'll be covering that game as well if you just want to stay around, watch some good hockey. Two solid offenses will go at it over there. Once again, Chi North and GBS up next. Another save by Reed. I'm all for player reactions as well. Watch this. Again, just leaving the box? It's kind of weird. I don't know if that was, I don't know if he's supposed to stay there. I don't know if I just revealed something I shouldn't have. Because that was the replay on the goal. So I guess Cannon just never left the box and Roween hopped right in. Definitely want to watch that back now. Get a chance. Herstrit looking in front. It's recovered by Selleck. Time expires on the Maine power play. And they not only do not score, but they allowed a shorthanded goal that doubles the Trevian lead. Cooney. Captain Cooney out in front for Chanzet, bouncing in front. And Reed makes the cover. Now here's that goal again. It might have just been a change up front. I'm very confused. I don't know if anybody's seeing that. You see what I'm seeing? Because they never made that change out of the penalty box. Interesting. DeLuca wins it for Maine. And it's Gavin Watt. DeLuca takes away. Slides in front, bouncing all over. Matthew DeLuca has his rifle blocked. Hard hit down low, and Nagets is going to the box now. One of the two captains, main captains here for New Trier, trying to give his reasoning, but nothing's going to change the outcome of this whistle. And Maine will have their third power play chance. Lengthy explanation from one of the linesmen. Maine wins the faceoff. Deflected in front in the slot. Cannon just couldn't get it on. Krischke holds and plays across now. Backdoor, DeLuca was left wide open. Could not connect, slides it across now, intercepted by Marino. He goes steaming up the boards. Marino turns it into a 2-on-1. How about another shorthanded goal? Layden can't settle it near side. Oh, would that have been trouble? You still feel this game is within striking distance. If you've got a 2-goal game with one of the best teams in the state. But the moment it turns to 3, very tough to mentally stay invested. Pape goes around the boards. It's Ouyang up ahead for Knight. George Knight couldn't go in between the legs of Pape. Now Ouyang turns it ahead, 1-on-1. Ouyang with a fake, cannot shovel it on. Just completely throws it off the official, kicks it to his stick now. Ouyang, oh my goodness! You gotta be kidding me! Was that precious? 3-0, second shorthanded goal for New Trier. How sick is this? Gets the bottle moving up top. And this angle serves even better. Oh my gosh. That's one of the nicer goals we've seen from the Trevs this season on the air. Two shorthanded strikes, and Maine's gonna really feel they need one here before the end of the second period.
2:55.
JP Wilson might have gotten away with a high sticking there. Would have been a soft call to make, but one he could have made for sure. Andrus, glued against the boards, is able to give it ahead for Roween, but the zone is held. Seward takes it at the side. Lyons gives it away. Just bodied off by Wilson there. Good help from Cabrera, but his stick snaps near the end. Lyons, and a double, bodied against the boards by Andrus. And we are back to even strength. From the point, deflected twice, and Reed makes the save. A double deflection from Maine. And still a denial on the other end from Max Reed. Lyons curls out of the circle. Tried to target Cooney down at the goal line. Instead, now the Trevs send it the length. Much needed time to get changes going on both sides. Got 99 seconds left to go in the second frame. Don't forget, folks, you can still say anything you want in the live chat. Would love to answer some maybe questions or comments when we come back from the break, as the Zamboni will come on to clean in 1:39. New Trier, according to our good statistician up here, Gerard Boris, out shooting Maine 21-11. And this could be another shot, and maybe another goal. Layden goes back door, and no connection. Layden the follow-up, denied. It's Marino off the wall, Layden settles it down. Jenner Layden. Hesitating, feeds it into the slot. Knight had his pocket picked, and the puck trails up the far side. Intended pass for Britch cannot be collected.
1 minute to go second period, 1 minute.
Marino was under a minute to go in the second. Layden drops back. Marino again. Goes around the wall for Layden. Layden into the netting, deflect. 2-on-1 just a couple of possessions ago. For New Tree, you get a look at it here. Alex Roween crashing back door, and he was close. Very close. 46 seconds to go. Face off one to Fontana and down the boards. Wu Yang, who's already got 2 goals. For Fontana. No curl up top, swing it across. Cannon towards the net, rebound loose. Fontana spins, fires, save. McGrath kicks it out of there. We've got a tussle down in the slot, a bit of shoving. And this puck will roll its way down, but no icing. Burke. Put it off the linesman. Chen said, back for Burke. And that will do it. 2 periods gone, still 1 to go here. New Trier with a 3-goal second. They've had explosive periods already in this O'Grady Cup tournament with a 4-goal first earlier this morning. And 2 teams, the only 2 unbeaten left in Pool B, will battle out a 3rd period when we return. Before we leave, one last quick check of the current scores, of course. Loyola leads Evanston 3-1. New Trier on top of Maine, 3-0. Fenwick still leads the Providence Celtics 3-2. And Notre Dame has taken a 4-3 lead on Brother Rice. So, We'll check back in later after this break. You're watching the Trevian Hockey Network, where your Trevs lead 3-0 over Maine Hockey Club through the first 34 minutes. Layden, back door, they score! Even though I'm right in front of it, trying to clip this replay. Nice glove save. And you see here, New Trier hanging in front with the lead as a backdoor pass for Herstrit. Oh my goodness, did he keep that out of the net? His net. Let's slow it down. Right, yeah, it looks like it got tucked in. Nice move, Janetsko gets a jump, 2-on-1, shoots and scores! Puts it 5-hole by Nocera, and New Trier leads 3-0, just like the first game between these two teams. Usually how it goes. Janetsko will try to wrap around another. Nagitz wants one up, he scores! Today. Look at that shot. Burke hit from behind. Ignatius wants a call, won't get one. Now Knight scores! The same 5-hole type goal that fooled Nick Nocera earlier. D'Alessandro. Tomaszewski, this one deflects towards Reed. He will cover and give it a side. Out of the zone, bouncing puck. This could be trouble. Kai Uyang on his high horse, gets inside, backhander, and he scores! New Trier parents chanting goalie assist. Max Reed with his first SHL point it could be. The big three of last game for Stevenson was, of course, Plashenko, as here's a puck poked ahead. Dominic Fontana all alone, he scores! Fontana with his first in a New Trier green uniform in SHL play. And he goes right over the blocker hand side. Hey, D'Alessandro on a breakaway for Stevenson. Good save by Max Reed. Came out of thin air, and Max Reed was ready for it. Quick takeaway, D'Alessandro. Reed positions that right arm well enough to where as it kind of rides the top of it and ramps over. On another breakaway. Another one that kind of came out of nowhere. Just a nice move by D'Alessandro, and Reed stands his ground. He's out of the zone, glove down. Instead by Uyang. Kai Uyang, backdoor, they score! Jack Herstrit had it put on a platter by Kai Uyang, and it's 3-0. The turnover caused, and Jack Herstrit just barely beats Asher Ali, who was there with the glove. Could have gotten a piece of him. Back to even strength. Marino fires and scores! Just as power play time expires, they take advantage of the last shot. Has to recover from that first shot, and then it's just great puck movement. And Marino puts it right through the glove and pad. Section really got a hold of the drum, and they've never stopped playing it, just randomly. Oh, that's a bad bounce! Sullivan scores! 10 seconds to go. Herstrit for Wilson. Saved by, oh, it's snuck through. And it's 6-0 the final score here. JP Wilson gets his first of the season. New Trier moves to 4-2, and they're just a victory out from being at the top of the standings. And they'll have the top dog, Viator Lions, tomorrow night. We join you live from the Mount Prospect Ice Arena in Mount Prospect, Illinois, home of the St. Viator Lions. as a Sunday night showdown is upon us between arguably two of the top teams in the state. New Trier travels west down Lake Avenue and comes here to take on the St. Viator Lions, currently at the top of the table. Two Sacconis out there. The one battling for it there was Matthew Sacconi ahead. Chance here for Colpins in a one-on-one. He'll release into the glove of Reed. Wide. Could be numbers the other way. Solomon's onside, finds Keegan Roween on a backhander save. The rebound's put wide, and now the net is way off its moorings. Hands go up from New Trier fans, as that's Chase Marino who is deep in the net. We might have our first penalty here. And yes, we will. And Tim Benz has his hand up like a student in class. Roughing's the official ruling. Herster up top, Nuggets. George Knight far side, looking in front. That one's up for grabs. Lohmeyer on the backhand, he scores! Is there to gain it back. Up ice. Sacconi gets by his defender, shoots, and it's denied. The rebound stonewalled. Oh my, Max Reed. Two big saves there. That's 16 and 17 of the game. Hold by Nuggets. Zone kept by Loftus. He gets by Lohmeyer, but just for a second, and Keegan Rowing is on a shorthanded breakaway with 7 seconds to go. He scores! Keegan Rowing makes it consecutive games for New Trier with shorthanded goals. And as you see there, Hank Tucker from the penalty box is beyond fired up for his boys. Possession, and they have an empty net to shoot at. It's a clean breakout, and this could win the game. Jack Herstrom has an open net and puts it home. It was a risky move by St. Viator to pull the goalie. New Trier with a clean possession. They break it out in the best fashion possible. The best breakout the New Trier's had all game. An empty net finisher to win 3-1. And they are now tied at the top of the standings. And they're tied with the team on the other end, St. Viator. Both teams are now 5-2. St. Viator has their 4-game win streak. And here.
On the United Center, it's high school hockey, the state championship, as the New Trier Trevians take on the Loyola Ramblers. Then give and go on. He shot, he saved, the rebound, picked up, shot to goal by Andrew Vitt. Take it back to Lau. To this side, shot, and a goal! Metro North's leading scorer, Nick Tillman. Here, shot a goal! On ahead. Shot a goal! Wilson.
Center opening face-off of the 2005 Blackhawk Cup. Fenwick
You
against
finish your checks on every guy, you never know what's going to happen, and that's a statement right there.
big shot by Talbot, carries forward, put it out in front, quick shot, and a goal! New Trier Green scores first.
In front of the bench, a little bit of payback.
Kyle Brown throws it back to the point. Now Brown shot, and that goes in. Another goal. Penalty killing here by New Trier. Giveaway in front. Shot. Score. Hanson had a throw right to him. He's slapped. He's Hessinger. He fires. Tipped in front. Knocked in. It very well may have been Hutchins that tipped it in. Malmstrom will go back. Centering pass in front. Score. Pretty pass. Trier, Green, Trevians. They are back on top. They win the 2005 Blackhawk Cup. Golden Green up is Mike Malmstrom. Pretty good-sized kid. Won a lot of face-offs. A winner in this 2005 Blackhawk Cup championship game. They win it by a final score of 5-0 over the Fenwick Friars. Congratulations to the Trier Green, the Illinois State High School hockey champs. Thank you for joining us on Comcast Sportsnet. Good night from the United Center.
2 seconds left. New Trier up 3-2. Picture 3-2 and they're going wild. It's a W flag.
Welcome back here to the Stadium Ice Arena in Skokie, Illinois. New Trier with 3 goals in under 9 minutes in that second frame to take a 3-0 lead over Maine Hockey Club. As we join you back here on the Trevian Hockey Network, always a pleasure to be with you. My name's Luke Jordan. Gerard Boris, our great producer, is alongside me in what has been an action-packed game so far. Plenty of great goaltending. I've seen 34 combined shots between these goaltenders unofficially, and only 3 have snuck by, and they've snuck by the goalie that's just simply seen more, the sophomore Gavin McGrath with a couple of great saves. But New Trier has started to pick him apart. We'll see if the Trevs can extend, because we know there will be no quit here from Maine. Who knows, they still have 17 minutes of hockey to work with. Kai Uyang scored the first one and the third one. Keegan rowing the in-between on a nice shorthanded strike. Uyang, that third goal, was also shorthanded. So 2 shorties for the Trevs. In between 2 very solid offenses in their respective league plays. It's a fairly low-scoring start. We have still yet to hit the finish. 17 fresh on the board. You never know what can happen. That's why you play all 51. We're back underway. Uyang gloves it down off the opening faceoff. Notre Dame on top of Brother Rice right now, 5-3. Ryan Papes passes behind the intended target as Woolabin recovers. Fenwick and Providence are tied at 3 as the Celtics have found an equalizing goal in the third period. Herstrick turns down his backhand. Over here on this ice in Skokie. Woolabin, backdoor for Uyang, so close to the hat trick. Some fans here in the audience recognizing that. Don't know, it is possible to get your hats on this ice. I don't know if it's worth the try, though. Here's Lohmeyer into the slot, over the crossbar. But how often does a blue liner collect 3 goals in a game? We'll see if that happens. He's out there, center blue line right now, as Woolabin sends it back down. Gavin goes up the wall. Seward applying pressure for Maine, but not enough. Nagitz puts it into the slot. Here's Uyang down to the goal line for Herstrick. Oh, give and go there. Chipped out. Would have been Uyang for what could be his third. Nolan Agates lets it slide by for icing. Loyola is up 3-1 on Evanston. If Evanston loses this one, they're practically eliminated. They'll be 0-2. And for Maine, you're definitely not liking your odds if you lose this game. I guess it's possible to somehow come out on top. You could at least get this game to overtime and snag a point from New Trier, and then go on win your next game and New Trier loses theirs. Then that's one thing. And New Trier with not an easy test coming up tomorrow against Brother Rice. James Esposito, one of the better scorers in the state. He scored today against Maine. That opening goal before Maine piled on 4 unanswered. But the Crusaders are not to be reckoned with. Here's Burke from the point and a save from Max Reed. Pretty easy shot, seen the whole way through by Reed here. Look up to the point, a wide open lane as well. Never really much of a trouble seeing it as he makes a stop. Swung around the boards by Marino and out of there. Peter Campanella goes across ice for Burke. Selak back in. Some Glenbrook South Titans and Chicago North Hockey Club members are warming up behind the right end of the ice. Here's Cooney. Got space and nearly beat Reed to that top corner. It was a close call. As this pass sneaks through Chanzes, delayed offsides now waved off. Maine able to change 3 in the process. Marino shakes and bakes. Still somehow with the puck, regaining his balance. And could not regain his handle. Roween keeps. Poked out of there. Chanzes nearly had a 2-on-1. Good pinch by Selleck. It's Maine over the blue line. Selleck is torn down to the ice. Might have been a bit of hanging on to Gavin Frischke's stick, in which he's still doing. Hand still up. DeLuca puts it wide anyway. Would not have mattered. And New Trier will go to the power play for the first time today. They've scored 2 shorthanded goals. And now their 22% power play in the SHL will come out. The SHL's best power play last year as well, 21.5%. It was more of a year of the penalty kill. I don't know if you folks remember 2023, 2024. I think we had 2 units over 30%. I vividly recall GBS having a 35% power play unit with good reasoning. They had Zach Freemuth and company. Let's see what Trev can do here. Nagets is able to hold his own with a hand. Banked off the boards, George Knight. Umbrella-style power play controlled at the center blue line now. Nagets fires one on. Rebounds there on the far side and tap wide by Roween for what could have been his second goal. Slid back into the slot, intercepted, and fired out of it. Herstrid picking up speed from the red line. He'll settle it down. Jack Herstrid recollects. Left-handed shooter. Might have had a lane, instead wants to hold on. It's a very mature thing from this New Trier power play. They are very patient. Wait for only the golden opportunity. Roween back for Herstrid. Nagets at the point. Knight's got space. Is this the chance? Yes, it is. And it's punched out of there by McGrath. Jack Herstrid. Cycling down the boards for a wide open Keegan Roween. Roween slips it through to Woolabin. Didn't like his angle. And he'll now curl into the corner. Across Keegan Roween. Skip pass intended, but cut off by Pape. Taken right back by Herstrick. Goes to the near point. Knight now for Woolabin, driving, put it off the pipe, the rebound goes. And it's 4-0 New Trier. They have now scored shorthanded twice and on the power play. And with one of the shorthanded goals himself, Keegan Roween leads the line as it is 4-0 in what really feels like all hope has now been shattered for Maine. Second of the game for Roween. Did not score earlier today. 5 unique goal scorers in that 7-0 win against Notre Dame. Jenner Layden had 2. And they are now outscoring their opponents 11-0. And this statistically seems to be the toughest test for them. As Fontana backs off. Off the skate of Julius. And here comes Chansed. Tries to wind one on from a distance. It was blocked by the skate of Wilson. Chansed still battling in down low. He'll get a hold of it on his forehand. Lyons looking to do the same. And it's eventually wedged up to the top of the circle for New Trier to get going. Off the skate of Cannon. He'll advance ahead. Charlie Cannon getting a handle here and a couple of nice moves, but nothing else. He goes crashing into the boards. Max Reed getting the double start today. Looking for a double you-know-what. I'm not going to say the word. But we all have it on our minds. I really hope I don't ruin it. Here's Knight. Deflected out of play. On the other end for Gavin McGrath, he is, I mean, if he sticks with Maine all 4 years of his high school career, he could really bring something to this combined team program. Lost in overtime in the semis last year. I think I was in the middle of telling the story about that game and witnessing it live. Then something chaotic happened, but BGHW went up 3-0 in that game in the state semifinals at West Meadows. And Maine just didn't give up. I want to say it was either early second or late first. Greg Morovska called a timeout and everybody was like, what are you doing? But I kind of liked it. And he made a goalie change. McGrath started to play incredible. And it's not that Joseph Murphy hasn't all last season and all this season. He's got a record of 8-0 in West play this season. The same returning goaltenders from last year. In front, a chance now deflects up to the point. Bergquist goes across. Point shot steered aside by Reed. Bergquist again. Deflected high up in the air. High glass, but still playable. As Marino sends it out for Alex Rolling. And they ended up coming back in that game. They tied it up at 3. Or literally a goal away from the United Center before their hopes were put to death. An overtime game winner for BGHW, who would go on to lose in overtime, in double overtime, by the way, to the Warriors Hockey Club. I mean, one of the more incredible combined playoffs to remember last year. DeLuca looking to go inside for Cabrera. It's sticked away by Nagitz. Nagitz back for Uyang. Now Roween will settle it. Roween's hit hard by Cabrera. Over the line, Nagitz with a delayed penalty. Maine will go to the power play. Amado Cabrera to the box, shaking his head. Kind of seemed like a clean hit, but I won't judge.
34, Cabrera, 2 minutes left, 9:48.
The other game here in Pool B, Notre Dame leads Brother Rice 6-3. And what begins another power play for New Trier. They're 1 for 1 so far, along with 2 shorthanded strikes. Down the boards for Lohmeyer. Lohmeyer skips it for Selleck. Cross now Marino. In front, deflected right through. Layden at the center blue. Cuts it down the right side. Layden. Just taking a lap here up on the power play. Marino. And that falls right through Layden and Selleck. Back down the wall. Kershke can't get a hand. Instead, it slides up for Pape, who clears. Halfway through the second New Trier power play. Marino. Had Layden for a second in the slot. Now he'll handle around. Kershke out of there. Don't forget, folks, you can always leave a chat down on the bottom. You say something, I can highlight it. Wouldn't mind talking some hockey right now. Here's Layden on the backhand, going back door, and no put back on the opportunity for Keegan Roween, who knocks off the bottle from McGrath. It went onto the ice. He picked it up and threw it back on for the netminder. How kind of him. As he's stationary between the red and far blue. One last power play breakout. It's Herschritt left side. Nearly intercepted and now taken the other way by Sean Lyons. Lyons with a chance. Lyons goes down on what could have been a call. Lyons looking at the official, wanted one, and could have gotten one, but not there. Skate a Woolben, and they're going to say he was just offsides. I think they're letting the far side linesman here. Definitely looked onside. I'm going to say never crossed the blue. This call, I think, would definitely slide at this point of the game, but they're keeping him honest over here. Isaac Solomon. He'll weave out right. Curl down the boards. Roween with a nice stick lift. Alex Roween now settling. To the point, Andrus. Still almost feels like a power play for a little bit. Solomon almost right into the main bench. Roween goes tumbling down. No call. Xavier Myers. Karleski swipes ahead, and DeLuca lost his handle. Maine will finish with Notre Dame tomorrow. New Trier with Brother Rice. A team that I would have imagined maybe the second favorite in this pool. They're about to go 0-2, which is a bizarre thought. Well, that's just how these tournaments work sometimes. And you knew coming into this pool for New Trier, I mean, yes, you're the best team here, but the other 3 teams are pretty even in talent. You can't let down once, and they kind of learned that in this game. It took forever to get that opening goal. Past 22 minutes of game time before we got one that turned into many more. Hard hit there by Cannon. And you can kind of see the 6th period feel start to kick in a little bit here, especially this spread out of a game with under 6 to go. Icing called on New Trier. knocked off the glass and glove down. Hard hit to Krishke, who stands his ground. Now Lyons, high slot. Good pass for Chanzed. Hasn't been a lot of offensive intensity as of late from Maine. They were all over it in the first and early second. Felt like as soon as New Trier got that second goal, really started to crumble away. Cooney collects it near side. Cooney tries a toe drag. It's hit hard, laid out by Nolan Nagitz. He just ran him over. Hershke with a blast that is absorbed by Reed. Reed looking for another clean sheet, should I say. Still not the word. Max Reed, kind of a winner wherever he's gone. A great season with the Reapers last year, AAA program here in Chicagoland. On the backhand, save by Reed. And Max Reed, who's well out of his crease, nearly just gave up the donut ending goal there. Cabrera, taken away by Herstrom. Hill 360. Fine Lohmeyer in the slot, backhander lofting. Eventually over the crossbar after a piece of it was taken by the glove of McGrath. He'll face another and use the glove again. I want to take a look at that opportunity for Maine on the other end. See the save here, and Reed pushes off. Look at how far he is out of his crease here. And it's still loose, and DeLuca pushes it just wide. At the other end, McGrath. Gavin fires up ice. It's a 2-on-1. Here comes Seward. Ethan Seward. Good save by Reed. Now it's Dane Lohmeyer. Lohmeyer stops and goes. Hits Woolabin, trailing towards McGrath, who covers. Earlier look from New Trier's opportunity on the other end. Couple of glove saves. That one pretty smooth. You see in the backdrop, even on your screen right here, top right, that's Glenbrook South and their new uniforms getting ready to go. They sported those on Wednesday for the first time. 2 days later, they're ready to play their second game of O'Grady Cup play. Opened up with a 4-0 win over Bennett Academy. The defending runner-ups from the state tournament last year. It kind of felt like the Red Wings' year to win was last year. Hudson, Schley, Ben Ciesla. Great team they had that turned a lot of heads. Good save by Reed again. As of right now, we've marked down 19 saves for the junior, Max Reed. Chasing Isaac Solomon will come after this puck, but it comes to McGrath first. Broadcaster's worst nightmare, by the way, for the next game. You've got Chicago North with the same color light blue shoulders that Glenbrook South will be wearing. They're in the backdrop of your screen on that face-off. But thankfully, it's white and black, the base colors, so there won't be too many problems, but we'll see. Lividitis with numbers, plays it across. Solomon on a one-timer, scores! Smoke coming off of that shot. And New Trier activates the running clock with 3:31. That was smoked. My gosh. A lot of pretty goals today for New Trier. Added to the list. Lividitis leaves the side, and that bottle has taken a beating for McGrath. Nearly has been launched off the net a couple of times now. One more look. Lividitis knows he's got pressure on his outside. Or should I say inside. And Solomon left wide open.
335.
Layden with a good forecheck. No matter how many whistles we get, this game will end at the same time unless Maine's to score. Ryan Karleski goes across ice. Matthew DeLuca chases it on Nolan Nagitz. And he is put horizontal. Nag gets a hard hit. Always ready to get physical. Deflecting puck hits DeLuca right near the blue paint. Sent out of there by the Trevs. Bergquist. In and around, no icing. Max Reed thought he was getting one. Here comes George Knight. New Trier still hungry for more. 12 goals today, and none allowed up to this point. Layden down to the side for Knight. Couldn't center it back across. It's Cannon the other direction. Cross ice pass that Cooney goes chasing after. DeLuca can't get it in deep. It's gloved down by Kai Uyang. What an exceptional day for him today. On both sides of the ice, really. 2 goals in the second period for Kai. Lyons goes down the boards past Cooney. Uyang, nice drag move. Alex Roween. Back for Cannon, 150 to go. Roween couldn't slip it through. He's got 2 goals as well. 2 multi-goal scorers in this game and 3 today for New Trier. Layden with 2 in the earlier one. That was a 7-0 win against Notre Dame if you have not seen. Poke loose, Fontana is in tight quarters, finds Roween. Keegan Roween, who's also on hat-trick watch. Across, Cannon, fans on his shot. Uyang wants one, feeds it for Fontana, back for Roween. Oh, a nice kick save by McGrath. Good flow from the Trevs. In the O-zone, they cough it up there. Chanzed works off of Uyang. This is impressive. Chanzed, sends it wide. DeLuca banks it off the boards and back in. Woolabin with 50. Goes vertical, Keegan Roween. Looking for Fontana, can't connect. DeLuca and a 1-on-2. Puts it off the side of the net. Delayed penalty coming to Maine. And a retaliation. It's going to be offsetting. Don't really need to do that if you're Kai Uyang, but he's been controlling the game so well I won't judge him too much. But that'll send him to the box as well, I believe. Or maybe not. And that will just run the game out. That's why. So New Trier, back-to-back shutouts. They outscore their opponents 12-0 today. And they've got good hands on Pool B, trying to go back to the semifinal and eventually the championship if they can once again. So the runner-ups from last year in the O'Grady Cup are off to a great start. Maine on the other end, waiting patiently in the line. Not a game to hang their heads about. They, first 22 minutes, really went shot for shot. But Max Reed, in the end, just stands taller. A 20-save shutout as we have it right now. Not a bad game for McGrath, though. 26 saves. Once again, nothing to wimp for. A good fight for Maine Hockey Club. That will do it from here. This same crew will be with you for the next game. I know it's usually Dylan Ward on the call, but he is currently out of town, as we say, doing a game up in West Bend, Wisconsin. So if you want to watch GBS in Chicago North, that is coming up next. But for the Trevian Hockey Network, a great showcase from New Trier on both ends. For the entire day, they outscore Notre Dame and Maine 12-0, and they take away from this one a 5-0 victory. For Gerard Boris, my name's Luke Jordan. Thanks so much for tuning in on the Trevian Hockey Network, as always, and we will see you on the flip side.